Hi there. So, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible. Meaning, I'll show how you can compress data using, the repacking method that does, like, for example, DODI uses. Or Scooter, Masquerade, whatever. Doesn't matter. Like, those people use maybe a different installer, most likely, but, this is one of the ways. Anyway, I just have photos here. Of using that, you can use whatever you want. Movies, videos, game files. Doesn't matter. But I'll be using photos in this case. Because YouTube otherwise it's going to crash. Anyway. Not photos in this one. For example, here we have the compressed batch file, which is this one. This will be the one that we're gonna use. Currently I can use only data 1, so technically I can do a double dot in the front, which makes a text screen. To easily put a text screen, it won't check for that file, meaning it won't check for data 2. Data 2 in this case is this folder. And data 1 is that one. I'll move this one for now, and then pit. There you go, because there's still some files in there. Below, data 1, because it's going to be only photos. I have some scripts here and there. To make it a bit easier. Currently it won't do much. It will instantly collapse because it will simply put photos there. I can show what it does. First, we'll start searching for movies, movie, video, or videos. For folder files. Meaning if the folder is named by that, it will move all data from that folder into the media folder, meaning data 2. Why have I done this way? Scooter explained to me like, hey, videos or movies or anything like that doesn't really need compression because it's kind of shitty. So I'm always putting it in data 2 because of different compression methods. Here we're using, for example, these two. Actually, just a really simple one. It's not any big compression. Doesn't require a whole lot compared to this one, which is more, I'm not gonna say heavy, because there are a lot of others that are a lot more heavier. Down here, as it says here, other methods to use. You can just copy it like that, paste it there, whichever you want, before the boot. So like that. Do keep in mind it will have to be within your files that it's gonna check. If you don't, then script will just give an error and crash. Personally, I would say just use this because it works fine. It's not the max amount of compression that you can get out of some stuff, but you don't really need to, in my opinion. Unless you're in a country where your data are limited. Like you have, let's say, 100 gigabyte per month that you can only use per downloading or whatever. And it's like, okay, they kind of have to. But to be honest, then you don't want to be the one compressing. But that's just my perspective. Anyway. So this compress bots, remove the 2 dots, and it will scan for that folder as well. And in this case, we don't need that. Do keep in mind, I will press on compress, but it will be extremely fast right now, since it only has a few files. So the estimation will be a few seconds. That's already done. But this is just to show, like, hey, data 1 bin, 5.6 megabyte. It probably won't even like compress a whole lot, considering that it's just few pictures. 5.64. Yeah, it's like 0.4 something is gone. But keep in mind this is only a few pictures. This is just purely to show the example of what it does. And they create this script, which is really simple. as in, it will check these folders and be like, hey, is there a bin file somewhere? Or it will check this one in me. It's like, hey, is there a bin file? Doesn't matter the names, any bin file. It's like, oh, let me move it to wherever you have set the hard-coded path. And in my case, that's gonna be here. It's gonna be here, in this case it's this, well, it's empty folders for now. It's just a show example, by the way. Anyway, these are two main folders you'll be using. The outputs folder that you can see right here is the inner setup that I showed here, which I'll include this, and this one right here is this, which basically shows like, hey, you can name it whatever you want. Literally doesn't matter. It just matters to whatever you can compress. You can make it an ID. You can remove this if you want. Make it green. It doesn't matter. It's just examples. And do keep in mind that this is important. Data 1, data 2. If you only have like one data, as we currently have, well, hold on, and as we can live here. So then we have to be like, oh, we only got one data, and then we gotta save it. And we're gonna compress a file, which is this button here, compile. It will do its thing, and then once it's done, it will push it out towards this one. I can show it. Here's my setup. It is still going, as you can see, but once it's done, that will be the setup. Now, as you can see here, it was just looking for all the DOL files and whatever X files it's necessary to decompress, compress, blah, blah. There you go. Setup. Very simple. And to keep in mind, like, your installer, if you're gonna use a different one or you make your own, that's fine as well. Can see or look totally different from this one. This is just one I got from Scooter, which works fine for me. That's a long line of codes. Personally, I won't bother too much with it. I'll only worry about these and this, because this is the shortcut from the IceQueen computer, which can turn into whatever you want. Doesn't matter, whatever the name is from the X that you're gonna use. And that will be the shortcut that will be going towards your desktop. So yeah, that's that. And then after you've done the what's it called? Theme. Whatever you want setup. I mean, the name doesn't matter. You can then you can choose whether you want to install it, blah blah. You go next, 2.something gigabyte. Do keep in mind this is something that you need to separately do, because this is this. So in this case, it will be like, and that's probably because it's in megabyte. So it should be like 5.6 if dots are allowed like that. This isn't necessarily accurate unless the person actually changed it here. In my case, it was 4,000, which means basically, well, I did 4,000 as in 4 gigabyte, but that is not 4 gigabyte because of how computers work. 1,024 megabytes is 1 gigabyte. But I just did 4,000 because I don't want to do math. Anyway, then you can use the install button. It will do its thing. Currently, there's not really a point into it because it will install within a second. Because there's only a few photos like this. And, well, that's what it. And the scanner, by the way, I personally find it really useful. I did share it with DODI and Scooter as well, because I'm not in here for a competition or anything. I'm just doing it for fun. Anyway, I don't mind sharing the files at all. It's not a state secret. Anyone can make them. So yeah, that's it, I guess. now I think about it. I mean, there's file forms, I suppose, that you can check out. Let's see. For example, this is the installer that I'm using. Blackfire is a creator. And this is just one of the example of the installers. There are multiple installers, of course. Just depends on whatever you want in the end. Let's see. Let's look at this, for example. Or this one. Or one. Let's see. And this one? No. Again, I did a different kind of installers. It doesn't really matter. Or you can make your own one. Do keep in mind, they don't work the same as the one that I'm currently using. They all have their own way. So the method that I'm currently explaining is completely useless for yours, most likely. Unless you get the exact same installer that I've got, then yeah. So yeah. That's about it, I think. That's gonna be useful in some way. Think I got it all? Oh, after you've compressed the files, just hit delete. Like that, it will remove things. There's a file I got from Scooter. This is really useful. It's just a simple go to the folders and delete it. Because it can bug out if you don't delete it, and it will. It's not a perfect system, but it will bug out in some way otherwise. It's kind of messy otherwise, so. It's just a lot of tiny scripts that just is lazy stuff. Same with the scanner. All I do is just copy it, paste it into a folder, whatever folder I want. It will scan all the files and be like, oh, okay, you know what? That's a big file, we're gonna push that to data 1. That is the small one, we're gonna push that to data 2. That is a media file, we're gonna push that to the media folder, blah blah. Because otherwise you have to do all the manual labor. And to be honest, if you do that one time, it's like, okay, you learn it a little bit, but you don't want to do the manual labor all the time. It's fucking annoying. You do have on the script like copy and move files when make torrent, which is not really anything special. It just looks for the directory in the script location and uses these trackers to add to that torrent. And uses by tree trade torrents as a method. And well, that's it, literally. And then we'll just place torrent here. I do copy move files and it will move the folder encoding with the torrent file. It will move it to the location I've set it to. Well, it's hard coded, so it's only a one-time change. And now I can just double click. And then, it will automatically add itself to, in this case, qubits or any other location that I've set it to. It just depends on whatever method you're using or whatever hard-coded path you've set. So yeah. It's not fully automated yet, unfortunately. I do want to make it fully automated, but I'm not sure if it's exactly possible because of the way that how this install works. Because if I can directly let the installer run itself, then it's perfect. But the problem is that technically I can change this to anything. Technically I can remove this or make it unavailable. Same with this. And then it will always just work. Technically. I can always go for 1 or 2 datas at all times, even if it's not necessary, because otherwise it might be a little complicated. Yeah. Technically that should be doable, but it's gonna be so much work that I'm like, bleh. I'll just press the button one time and click here one time like so and be like, yeah, okay, I'm done. It's just manual labor that it's like, right, I don't want to do it. Because, you know what, if it's like one time doing it, then it's okay, but keep in mind, this is something you're gonna do for day in, day out. It's gonna be manual labor, and it's gonna drag energy. Anyway, I hope in some way this was useful. Yeah, output file is gonna be the data one, select a file, all the language files if you want. To be honest, I recommend just put it all in there. Like, if you wanna be like, hey, I wanna like separate them all and be like, I want, for example, if you have this and you're like, hey, yeah, that's cool, but I would like my I'll have it here or here in this case. Actually, I made it separate already before. My for example, Arabic, French, German, Italian, blah blah. Technically, I can just run this and it'll be fine. I just have to remove the two dots and move one of these folders, whichever one I want to here, so that I can see, because the compression will only check from the directory it is in itself, and the things under it, but not this one. So for specifically those ones, you have to directly be like, hey, I want this one. And then you're gonna paste it there if you want it like that. Most of the time it will be really necessary unless you wanna do it that way, that you have like a manual language selection and blah blah to yes. I feel like it's kind of unnecessary unless the language methods are like clearly shown. Because in most of the stuff that you got, the language isn't really clearly shown, as in like that's a file that's called English. It usually is not like that, which is very unfortunate, which makes it kind of a pain in the ass. It only is like in the big AAA titles, I guess. Anyway, I hope it's useful. This might sound wrong, but don't come to me with questions. I don't got the energy to deal with that. I was like, hey, I'm gonna make this video because why not? Fuck it. As people sometimes come like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna answer that every single time because it gets tiring, because it's such a long process. And this is only like pretty simplistic and already set up stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I hope it's helpful, and bye bye.